Normally, more infestors needs a lot more time to materialize that and make more fungals, more infested Terrans. So you can do that style, just have this little, tiny aggression, drop back, and then all of a sudden take your fourth base a little bit faster. You could play a lot more efficient that way. That's the only thing I can really see. It's not really, it's a way to
certainly spreading it out, doing as many small engagements, enough energy, exploiting the speed of roaches versus the slowness of hydralisks.
Yes.
viOLet is certainly the player who'd be able to pull that off. At this point in time, we're seeing standard-looking Zerg versus Zerg, viOLet early expanding, going for the quicker speed, the quicker Baneling nest. We're seeing the more defensive sort of go for the pool first and then expand and then Baneling nest. And at this point in time, I don't think there's anything that is particularly noteworthy. It's just as standard can be.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially because I was in the back yesterday with viOLet, and I was like, viOLet, coach me. Tell me what you want me to do. And even on a map like Cloud Kingdom, he doesn't mind going Spire Tech. He doesn't mind going, anything from 9 pull to 15 hatch. He's like, oh, what kind of style do you want to play? We can do anything here. So I feel like viOLet is just feeling out his opponent right away, just seeing what his opponent is capable of, because seeing a game and playing a game is completely different, and he might not be comfortable doing aggressive styles or, of course, the converse. But here we go.
We already see the Lings pop in. Will they get a single drone? Nope. 0 drones, an excellent little micro moment there. We're also seeing Sortof get layer, but it looks like been studying and considering his opponent's play very well, rushing for +1 ground carapace. This is a signal that he wants to go for some mass Zergling aggression. Because keep in mind, 1 blast from Banelings does not kill a Zergling that has +1 armor.
Oh, it's going to get in here and see it. Now, he sees the Evolution Chamber. There's 2 main options. It's either a +1 timing with missile attack, or it's this carapace build. Now, what he's trying to keep track of at this point is the gas count, and he sees 4 gas, so it's a little bit weird. I like what viOLet did right there. It is kind of shrouded in mystery. He doesn't know whether it's going to be a roach attack or something like crazy Zergling Baneling, but we know it's going to be some sort of Zergling Baneling, or at least the threat of Zergling Baneling. At this point, he's just going ahead, putting up that Roach Warren. No, that's the wrong person. He's putting up a lair and getting additional Banelings while teching to his third.
Yeah, I like this play out of viOLet, just going for the standard Zergling type aggression. But I even for this near identical style every time. Heavy reliance on defense, just wants to go to the late game, where interestingly we're seeing that he has a profound advantage over seemingly any Zerg opponent.
And Sean, remember, in his last game, Sortof always relied on that +1 timing to keep him safe at his third base. So he might be going these Zerglings just to keep them relevant throughout that mid-game stage. We saw that, once like Muta damage was done, the Zerglings were really out of place. They didn't have any substance to them.
Oh! An excellent last-second connection there. And notice that it connected right before +1 is out. So suddenly, it's no longer Banelings that we're seeing out of Sortof. It's roaches. I mean, DC viOLet picks off a single one of those, but right now I'm not feeling as content with this push timing by viOLet.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it so far, but again, with +1 carapace, these roaches can never really two-shot these Zerglings, so it gives them a little bit more substance. But still, it's not going to be enough. There's just too many roaches high enough. He's going to have to back up from here. I think the Infestation Kit is just now finishing up Pathogen Gland, so we're going to see Infestors pretty soon here. Both these players getting third bases at relatively standard times, and again, we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from viOLet. This is absolutely his style. He loves to do macro play, but in front of that, it's all of this aggression, and he really utilizes his multitasking to his maximum abilities.
So Sortof now has a little bit of a defensive trouble he's going to have to overcome. Attack, come look at all in the middle of the map, and they're sort of sparsely placed. Fortunately, we're seeing not a lot of drones from viOLet, so sort of is comfortable in that regard, but, viOLet's putting up a lot of excellent threats just with a simple Zergling play. Yeah,
I would love just like a pack of Zerglings to be around the third base of viOLet, from Sortof, that is, just to see drone count to see potentials and see if there is a potential timing. Like right now he's pushing out. There's no drones at the third. This could be hitting into a lot of anti-timings.
This is going to be very dangerous of a position. I mean, right now, if you look at the production, those infestors are just now popping out. The Zerglings have decided that it's time for them to sweep around, and there's just nothing there for defense. Oh my gosh.
Wow, these Zerglings are going to get into the main, and the natural doing massive amounts of damage. Queens are going to go down both at both hatcheries, and meanwhile,
he misses a big bungle. This is a just devastating position to be in.
Oh, nice.
Well, Roach is one shot very fast to go for. He's already sustained heavy losses in mining time.
And you know what? viOLet doing the right decision, punishing his opponent for going out when he knows that there are Zerglings out in the map. You really can't do that. It's the same thing with, if there's Hellions or Mutas right outside in any other matchup. You can't go out of your base without ample defense at home, especially against the high mobility.
It's one of those funny things where in a lot of games it's very easy to, like if you're trying to teach your friend about StarCraft where you say something like, oh yeah, he really spine crawler because of counterattacks. And you can play 100 ladder games and literally that counterattack will never happen. You'll never realize there's a flaw. viOLet will always show you with his Zerglings where all the flaws in your defense are. Every single game. It's like, all right, buddy, case in point, that's why you build a spine there.
Yeah. And I love that. As we said in the beginning, viOLet is one of those players that likes to punish his opponents. And if he sees a glaring weakness, he's going to hit it. And it doesn't matter if you might have the defenses or not. He's going to test that out for later periods in, let's say, the best of 3 or best of 5. So I really, really admire that style of viOLet, and it's very, very rare.
Now, Sortof has to be careful that his Baneling doesn't do that. This is an unusual play in my eyes because generally this is the location that you hold in order to defend your fourth, and then when you see attacks moving through mid-map here, you can always relocate knowing that this is a restricted entry point, that the rocks are down, so it becomes very difficult for your Zerg buddy to engage. With this clearly opened attack path, I feel like sort of made himself a lot more vulnerable with that play.
I mean, the counterattacks are just so substantial. A lot of times you'll see just spine crawlers straight across, and maybe like a single infestor just to ward off any potential roach pushes. But it's really unfortunate now. I'm not sure why he did that, but we'll see how he positions his army. Right now, everything that you just said is substantiated with how he's positioning it currently. If it was in like the middle of the map, I could be a little bit more understanding, but it's not. And by the way, I just out these players, what is doing. Although we coaches the normal. As opposed to the Hyun games.
Well, we're also seeing there's a lot more drones on the half of viOLet. So, in fact, viOLet's army size... Oh, I didn't mean to disable the sound. That's the opposite of what I intended to do. I went to do this and show this tab. Look at that. Army supply certainly favors.
That's right. He does have a positional advantage, which is going to help in this upcoming fight. But what he should really look to do is attack that natural. And it's like beautiful. Because you want to have a tactical spread out type of engagement. Whenever you have this amount of drones, I feel like going straight up is never going to be the right decision in viOLet's case.
Oh my god, viOLet decides to take the opportunity to engage. viOLet gets a lot of his infestors caught out, and here comes the lobber crew action. Everyone throwing down as many of those infested Terrans as possible. And how does Sortof do this? Every single time, just has the perfect angle.
Well, not only that, it's the drone count. I mean, we're talking about 10 to 15 more hydras or roaches that sort of had over his opponent because of that drone count. You really, really have to be careful with going to that max because you need that quality units for the first and second initial 200 pushes. Else, you're always going to be fighting cost efficiently, and therefore you're going to be losing a lot more than you need to.
This is a rough engagement right now that you're going to have to do as the Reds are going to try to go around. Oh my god!
Beautifully done.
The absolute perfect fungal growth Again, we see
look at
Sortof
that
engaging tactically perfectly, completely sweeping viOLet in this final engagement.
Unbelievable. You can see how much momentum Sortof had from that first fight, and now he's going to go straight for the fourth base, remove that from the field. Again, just like the Hyun games, just lean on your opponent, exercise your macro advantage, and win the game. We're going to see him do that right now.
More Hydra sweeping in from the Sortof.
Again, not a fancy play,
Yeah.
but it's just straight up